Hello everyone, it is a bit windy today, so hopefully you can still hear me. But today I'm going to be talking about, or looking at, how Johnny Depp and Amber Heard started. So looking at the very start of their relationship and how we ended up in this big mess. So I'm going to start us off with Johnny Depp because he's the older one. So he's 59 years old, and when he started off his career, he wanted to be a musician. He went to Hollywood, wanted to be a musician, and he ended up meeting, I think it was Nicolas Cage. Who's the actor, quite the famous actor. And just while he was trying his best to be a musician, Nicolas Cage said, nah, try out being a movie star, it's easier. So this ended up, Johnny Depp's first acting gig was as one of the, well, not completely the full star, but one of the actors in Nightmare on Elm Street. He played a boy who ended up being sucked into his bed while he was sleeping with the music on and headphones on, and it didn't help him, he still died. That was his first role. And his second role was as one of the main characters in the TV series 21 Jump Street, which became very, very famous. He suddenly became a sex symbol in his second acting gig. First one, not many people realise he was in Nightmare on Elm Street, but then he was straight away into fame. Now after that, he of course went and said, well, I might take acting a bit more seriously. So after 21 Jump Street ended, he then started taking acting lessons, and he started being in no-name movies. And most of them were terrible, but one of them was really good, and that one being Edward Scissorhands. It was a surprising gem. And then after a while, we ended up with a number of really good movies, and one of the best ones was the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, Pirates of the Caribbean was of course a Disney franchise already. They already had a ride beforehand, and they wanted to turn that into a movie. And Johnny Depp was one of the people they wanted to have as their lead pirate, and he had his own ideas, and he created Jack Sparrow. So that was Johnny Depp's creation, and that ended up being a masterpiece. And they were going to have a pirate, they didn't know what to call him, they didn't know what he was going to be like. Johnny Depp went through the whole thing. And yeah, so that became his movie. He made a lot of money and ended up becoming the world's highest paid actor for at least 2 or 3 years in a row. And he ended up with a net worth of $650 million as a result of his acting. And this is in spite of pretty big spending. And that was his net worth as at when he married Amber Heard in 2015. So I don't know his net worth as we were going along, but suffice to say it was probably pretty high before that as well. So he ended up meeting her in 2009. So they knew each other for 6 years before they got married. 2009 he appeared on the set, or appeared in the movie, The Rum Diary. And The Rum Diary was a low budget movie, pretty small compared to what Johnny Depp's often in. But he wanted to give back to the community because he knew that being a big star, if he was in a movie, then it could help to propel the careers of lesser known actors. And that could be their big break. People would watch the movie for Johnny Depp, they would see the lesser known stars, then the lesser known stars might get a following and might become big stars later on. And that was his idea of getting a big break, helping out the community. Not helping out anyone in particular, but helping out the community. Or the acting community, the film community. Because he got his big break, he wanted to give something back. Now, Amber Heard ended up in that movie. Now, Amber Heard's career trajectory was very different to Johnny Depp's. She didn't have that big break, and she also didn't want to be a musician. She tried to do all the right things, went through acting school, tried to get gigs, and she had finally, after several years of trying, had managed to get enough money together that she was getting regular acting gigs and was making a living out of it. Only barely, but she was making a living. And she had also, and I don't want to say this too definitely, but she had started seeing a woman, Tasha Van Ree, and she had even changed her name to Amber Van Ree and said, we're married. They weren't legally married. I'm not sure if they were allowed to at the time, but in 2008 she was seeing Tasha Van Ree, who she referred to as her wife, and she changed her name, Amber Van Ree. It was what she went by. And she said, came out as gay, a big pillar of the LGBT community. Now there are some people that have speculated that she was making that up for publicity. And I think in light of the other things she made up, that's quite plausible. But we don't know that for sure, so I'll leave that as a possibility, not as a definite. And anyway, and we know that of course that At one stage, she hit Tasha Van Ree, or at least was charged with domestic violence, public domestic violence, and assault in an airport. She went to jail, spent a night in jail. Of course, she accused them of homophobia, but the woman who arrested her was also gay, so that's probably not very likely to be the reason. But anyway, that happened, and then she met Johnny Depp after that. So Johnny Depp, for his part, his relationship status was that he was married since 2009 to a woman named Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa Paradis is a French actor, model and singer who's quite famous in her own right, at least in France and perhaps French-speaking countries. They had 2 children together. He had never been married before, so this was quite a big deal for him. But yeah, so he was happily married. We had no reports of any fighting with them, and she still supports him. He still supports her. They have 2 children. There seems to be no public animosity. Maybe there secretly was, but there was nothing that we know of. Whilst there certainly was between Amber Heard and Tasha Van Ree, at least on that one day. And there was a good chance that Amber was just using Tasha to get some more fame and to get some better gigs. So, to get some more money. On the set of The Rum Diary, Amber Heard's hoping for a big break, and the director said, "You can't act." He said he wanted to cut Amber Heard out of the movie and either replace her with someone else or just leave her out and just change the script around with her not being in it. And now, that was the director's choice. He has the right to do that. But Johnny Depp, being the main actor, had a bit of a manipulative role there. So Johnny Depp could have just let it slide, but he said, no, she can act, give her a chance. Now, we don't know exactly what he said, but along those lines. And so he saved Amber Heard's big break. He saved Amber Heard's position in The Rum Diary. She ended up appearing in it. The movie flopped. Her acting was criticised as awful, and Johnny Depp was criticised as having some of the worst acting in his career. Nonetheless, she still got that big break. Didn't really help her that much, but got the big break. Now, generally it is believed that they started their relationship then on the set. So he rescued her from being dumped, and then she repaid him with, love, affection, whatever it would have been. So their relationship started from cheating, from lying, from manipulation. Johnny Depp manipulated the director, and almost certainly Amber Heard manipulated Johnny Depp. And that is how it started. Started with Amber Heard having already hit her girlfriend, or wife as she called her, and having said that she was gay, but she may not have been. So there was a bit of a lie about that as well. We know that during their relationship, Amber Heard did cheat on Johnny Depp with both James Franco and Elon Musk. That's been proven now. So they're both men. She didn't cheat on him with any women, at least nothing that's been made public. So, she has been with women, at least publicly. We're not sure if they're real. We're not sure if she is really gay. She might be. She might be putting that on for publicity, because she gets publicity out of being known as an LGBT icon, in the same way she gets publicity in being known as a domestic violence person. And now we know that bit's not true. Is the LGBT bit a lie as well? It could well be. And we sort of should have known this at that stage. So they officially announced their separations from their respective relationships in 2012. They both said on the same day, said, I'm leaving Vanessa Paradis, I'm leaving Tasha Van Ree, and we're together. And of course we know that real relationships don't happen like that. You really would have a gap where you'd be breaking up, mourning the relationship, and then starting another one after 6 months or so. You might have a rebound, but you wouldn't be saying it on the same day. So we knew that they were cheating. We knew that they both cheated on their respective partners. How far back? It's widely speculated it was 2009. I think that makes the most sense. And certainly it was a dishonest relationship from the start, at least until 2012. So from 2009 to 2012, it was a dishonest, manipulative relationship. And it seemed as if Amber Heard was the one doing the manipulating. And yeah, Johnny Depp was forced to lie. He lied to his wife. He would have had to have lied to his children and his wife. Can you imagine that? maybe she blackmailed him, maybe there was some other things, we don't know exactly, but this relationship started off on the wrong foot. And if you start off cheating, are you ever going to be in a happy place? This was a manipulative, dishonest relationship from the start, and that's a hint as to why it ended up the way it did. Anyway, that's it from me. Bye bye now.